We've got Mike McCabe, co-founder and COO of Dippy. You can find them at getdippy.com. Yes. Mike, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So let's start off. How do you describe Dippy to people you meet?
People I meet, well, I guess it would depend on if it's a user, as we call them, or a consumer, someone who wants to use our product, or if it's a potential customer or investor,
okay.
whatever it
so
may
it's
be. Yeah,
two-sided platform.
Yeah, two-sided platform. We have our customers,
all right.
yes, and then we have people that use us, B2B2C. So
okay.
if I'm speaking to a user, I say, where do you go to find out and to learn about new businesses or re-engage with your favorite brands? And if I'm talking to a customer, say we provide a way to acquire new customers and engage them in new and different ways.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned customer. Your customer, those are going to be?
Yeah, our target customer is restaurants and entertainment spaces.
Okay.
But we're broadening that as well. But fast casual franchises, specifically, or QSRs, quick service restaurants.
Okay.
Have really been working well for us. Yeah.
And so the value that you're providing to them for their customers, which is the user, as you mentioned,
yeah.
Sometimes it's difficult to describe a two-sided
It's good just
platform
to define
without
the words
yeah.
at a time. Yeah.
So let's do that early,
yeah.
So as not to be confusing. So your customer is going to be your target, at least, is franchise QSR, which is quick service restaurants.
Yep.
You're providing value to them by giving them another tool or a tool to reach more customers for
mm-hmm.
them, mm-hmm. who are your Dippy's users.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, got it. And so how would a user access the platform and benefit from it?
Yep, so you can find us online on our website, getdippy.com, as you mentioned, see a variety of promotion and deals from restaurants in your geographic area. And oftentimes we call many channels or different ways to find out who we are and get in. And so you might be following your favorite business on Facebook, and they'll promote a link where you can just click that link and type in your phone number and get a text message from us. So,
okay.
With that deal. Yeah.
Cool. And so we covered target market. Let's talk about the team for a moment.
Sure.
We've got you.
Yes.
Obviously, Mike McCabe, COO and co-founder. Who are the other co-founders?
Yes,
and what
there's another co-founder
roles?
out there. Yeah.
Okay.
Evan Rallis. Yes, and he's our CEO. And this is his third startup, and it's kind of his original idea. And funny story, of course, how we met, how we got going. I was trying to find ways how this would not be a good idea, and then I kind of got a little stumped, and I said, I know some from my previous job. I know some really talented programmers with over 10 years of experience and back-end development, and let's float this idea past them as well. And they got chewing on them as well, and so we decided to collectively build our minimum viable product. And those developers were Blake Jackson, who's now our CTO, and Trevor Nikolowski, who's our senior architect. Mm-hmm. And they've been just instrumental from the beginning as well in terms of creating the product and build, measure, and learn. And another key members that we've had over the time as well are interns. It's a new generation where interns aren't necessarily not all of them are looking to work for Fortune 500 companies, but really want to understand just how does a startup work and operate. Even 6 months in, we had interns that were okay with
right.
how it was working and how it was operating, but they just wanted to get that experience.
How long have you guys been in business? When did you start the startup?
Yeah, it was an idea in the beginning of about mid of 2016, and I think our first deal was November of 2016 is when we launched. So we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you've got a team of, it sounds like 4.
Yep,
right? Four plus interns that you're supplementing, and
interns, and then outsourced, and we've had some other hires previously, as well.
And excuse me, you're the only one in the 757 Accelerate cohort who is not from within the Hampton Roads region. Yeah. You guys are based out of Richmond,
yep.
right? Can you tell us about your experience so far in Hampton Roads? You're living down here for the duration of the program?
Yes, I moved at least, yeah. So got up and moved. Next adventure, right?
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
moved down here, yeah. And then my co-founder Evan Rallis as well is doing a split time, about 50-50 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't envy that commute.
Yeah.
From Richmond.
Yeah. So yeah.
But it's working out so far. You're about halfway through the program. What led you guys to apply to 757 Accelerate?
Well, started in Richmond and really just networking, and we're part of 1717 Innovation Center there, the Startup Virginia incubator. And as we brought in our network group and advisor group, we started hearing about what the cool things that were happening down here, and had an opportunity to speak to Monique Adams. Is from 757
Angels.
Angels,
That's right.
Yep. And she recommended, but we kind of were already having this on our radar because Richmond, according to Times Magazine, cite your sources, Richmond's #2 in the nation for millennials moving to, and Virginia Beach area and 757 is #1. So our product is geared towards that younger generation,
right?
Millennials and more. But so just in terms of product market fit, and just the collaboration that's really happening in this area.
Well, as a native myself, that's really great to hear that we've getting the recognition that I've known for all along that we should deserve from out of town, and Richmond is a great place. I love going up there and hanging out and seeing the town.
Yeah.
And there's certainly a lot of activity in the startup space, and there's also a lot of activity in the startup space down here in Hampton Roads, and that we're getting that recognition from folks out of town like
well,
you
we
guys.
heard it from there. Yeah, it was like when 1, 2, 3, 4 people hear it.
Right.
Like, let's check
And
this
so
out.
we're really starting to build this statewide ecosystem, right?
Yes.
So you have your localized ecosystems or ecosystem, potato. You've got your localized ones, Hampton Roads, Richmond, Wise in Southwest Virginia, Northern Virginia, Charlottesville region. But you've got the statewide ecosystem, right? Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, of course, we've got the nationwide and global. But
the dots are getting connected for sure. And we're seeing it from the state governments to the city governments, even the local as well, that in terms of collaboration, it's on the government side, and they're trying to connect and collaborate with each other, and they are doing it.
So specific with 757 Accelerate, now that you're about 6 weeks in, what's been your experience so far? Have you gotten a lot out of it, and has it led you to make any major pivots?
It's fast and informative. Yeah, I mean it is jam-packed full of you think you know something, and then you have these industry-leading experts coming in that just are there to help, and and they have so much knowledge, and they have workshops, but they're willing to give you extra time as well. So inbound marketing was things that you just kind of put off or said we'll get there as we expand. They have a really good idea of how you can map to get to that point, but similarly, what can we implement and do now in our infancy?
Right.
So
there are a lot of things as a startup that SEO, for example, inbound marketing, as you said, that you should look into, you should be doing, but there's so many other things you also should be knowing and doing too. And so a program like this really forcing your hand to take those deeper dives and give you actionable stuff that you can do now. That's going to help you, at least a little get
already
to
has.
next,
You
next
mentioned
spot.
SEO. I mean, we're already seeing improvements based off the workshops and
Great.
instructions that we have. And yeah, it's exciting. That's supposed to be a long-term thing, and you see that you're popping up on these pages now. So, and that's just one example. Yeah.
So I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire at all, but do you anticipate hanging out any longer in Hampton Roads after the program, or are you going to go back up to Richmond, or
on the record or off the record? No, Richmond has been incredible. We didn't start our company because we knew about the startup ecosystem, and they were a startup in themselves, Startup Virginia, and what's happening there, and it's incredible to see the development, what they've done. And my co-founder actually, he's based in Richmond too, but he's in Austin, Texas right now, and based out of there, and incredible ecosystem going on. So it's been an incredible journey so far. I'm personally and professionally at a point. I'm like, what's the next point? What's the best next move for our company?
Right.
And so, luckily to be that flexible, can understand that. But from what I've seen so far, this area and what they've done, they're not just starting to do it; they are.
Cool. Well, wherever the road leads, it's not going to offend me, and I'm sure. And the same goes for anybody associated with 757 Accelerate. Ultimately, we want to see you be successful wherever that is. We'd love it to be here.
I need to get a bigger apartment.
But we want to see.
I got a small studio apartment, so yeah, we'll upgrade that if I stay here.
Okay.
But,
all right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
A lot of those are being built, so there won't be a shortage when the time comes. But no, I think it's critical that we continue to support you guys wherever you end up, and that you're going to carry this story with you, right? That point shouldn't be brushed aside. That you're going to talk about how good of a time you had in Hampton Roads, and whether or not you stay here, whether or not you stay in Norfolk specifically or Hampton, and we have historically a lot of.
I've learned about that
sort of
competition
between the cities and those representing the individual cities, but backing up just a little bit, the tide floats all boats, and I think that we're helping you, and we just have to have faith that it's going to come back in one way, shape, or form, if not in our own form of karma.
Well, they did a lot of research in terms of what's the best practices of accelerators and incubators, and did a road tour for a year ahead of time to see. And it's easy to just to kind of think that way, but we've seen it as well. I mean that yes, there's self-interest here in terms of individual localities, but 757 from the beginning has really worked to say what is best for you, even if it's not best for us. They've been incredibly unbiased and helpful in that scenario, and that's just
great point.
Refreshing to see.
Great point. Thank you. And I in no way intend to be negative about the region. I think we've got a whole lot going for us, but it is a reality, and it's certainly a reality for a lot of the startups that are here or that are looking here. So it's nice to hear it.
I love it.
Hear it from you.
So
Thank
it's been great so far.
So getting back to Dippy. How are you guys different? Imagine this space has, got a few competitors in it, if not quite a few. How are you guys differentiating yourself from that competition?
Yeah, great question. We, there's a lot of big names out there that are doing it now, and a lot of big companies that have been there and then failed. So we get a lot of comparisons depending on how we're describing ourselves, but we're really kind of at the cross section of three industries. One of them being kind of the deal industry, and Groupon, for example, we'll always get paired for that as long as we have mobile deals on a website. And the second would be the SMS industry. We are text message aggregators, and but we are at least in the area so far the only B2B2C in terms of we're not just a SaaS platform. We have multiple businesses on one list. And then lastly is the loyalty programs as well. So we actually are not trying to compete against the loyalty programs, but in a sense try and drive higher acquisition and engagement, as we talked about, for those loyalty programs.
Right.
They're there. We're not going to replace them out of the get-go, but we can find a way to, with higher conversions and without any work, is the main point for the businesses. We're an out-of-the-box solution. So it requires no work on their time. They don't have to learn text message law or the best principles or the highest ways to get conversions. We kind of take the best practices from each one of those industries, and similarly, listening to our customers over time to increase those conversions, whatever that may be, in terms of getting new customer acquisition or joining their own loyalty program, catering leads. We can do a really customized solution for every business.
Awesome. So, Mike, what is your background experience? I think we touched on it a little bit, but what is your background experience, and what do you think has helped shape you as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I played college soccer at Marshall University. Was a finance major there, and was looking to do kind of a 3+2 program and get my master's. And just being so focused on soccer and with the economy downturning, it was tough to get summer jobs. And I really didn't want to get my MBA and just really have no real world experience. So I said, let me get out there and found my first job at Synergy Systems, and the job I was hired for, we either lost the contract or it got delayed. So I kind of, from the get-go, had to create my own job. So it was essentially like an 8-year startup. It kind of been there, fluctuating company size. And so we talk about having many hats or doing many jobs. I just kind of kept filling in spots, operations, accounting, and the bookkeeping, and using my finance when available, but working hard to get those customers. Customers, so you have money, so then you can use it. So so I was able to use my knowledge from school, but just really learned a lot in terms of how a business operates. And in the meantime, I was sitting at the IT table, if you will, and not a programmer myself. So to be accepted in their big table was an honor. And so working with Trevor Nikolowski, our senior architect. And so I learned a lot working directly with them, and was kind of the middleman between our CEO and sales side and in product development. And always had the entrepreneur bug. And Evan came along, and fast forward, and here we are now.
You got restless enough that you
finally... and I said, so we assembled the dream team. Evan's been there and done that on that side, and I knew some quality programmers, as we said, and could connect the two.
Wow.
So that's how we got going. Yeah.
I love that one. So can you tell us any recent wins or pivots that you guys have encountered, or both, while you've been in the program?
Pivots within the program? No, but we started out, really, we wanted to have deals and promotions in the back of Uber and Lyft cars, because really that's our target audience. They're outgoing and social. They want to go eat or drink or whatever it may be. And we ended up, as we were building our product, we did a Facebook campaign and had 30 people sign up. And we were just like, wait, digital is so much easier. And we thought we were going to build our way to do that, but we were able to leapfrog that and immediately go into there. And luckily, we were built well enough architecturally in the background that that pivot was
feasible.
Yeah, I'll say easy, but my programmers might for our programmers, excuse me. But we still have driver, because in some of our terminology underneath the hood as well, in terms of the Uber or Lyft driver.
That's an interesting concept. Is that something that you anticipate maybe going back to at some point? Or like it's still an opportunity, still some fruit to be cultivated there?
Yeah, as we mentioned before, in terms we have different channels to get users to and connect them with our businesses. Yeah. So the ride sharing channel is definitely a way we can do. We do handouts. Our customers do handouts at sporting events. So we're not just digital or just online. You can find us in many restaurants with a tablet where all you do is type in your phone number and you get a deal to use, or fill out a survey for your next visit. So there's a lot of different mediums and channels that we can, and so we pivoted for now, but it's still there and we can still go that route.
And any big wins?
Big wins is we really had as we really developed really good case studies with our customers and our franchise customers over the last year. We took all the guts out of our online presence, and to really bolster it so we can move outside of just Richmond. And so we are now have deals here in Virginia Beach, and and companies here in Virginia Beach, and we're expanding, and just with all the hyper-intensive mentorship as well, it has been incredible, as I mentioned it earlier as well, in terms of how we've learned to really reshape our landing pages and our home pages and the various UI and UX elements that go into it, and really smoothing out the product, because the brains have always been there, but now it looks good. So that's a nice feeling. Yeah.
Good to hear. What is something that we as an audience can look out for and help Dippy out beyond the mentors and the program itself? We as the rest of Hampton Roads, what can we do to share in the fun?
Share in the fun? Yeah. More fun if we have more business on there. We really believe we have a share feature where you can easily share businesses and promotions from user to user.
How would we do that? We put them in touch with you, or identify locally run QSR franchisees or?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, as much as we believe in the power of referral, whether it's our users referring to each other,
Okay.
And new businesses, but similarly, just if we can get referrals to other businesses that might be interested, and we have a freemium all the way to various paid features as well. So really the initial dream was to get the mom and pop shops and to expand. We've opened that up.
It's a tough market.
It is a tough market, yeah, but we can still provide value to them.
Yeah.
And even if they don't have the budget or
right. Oh, I'm sure of that.
So
what's a little less sure of is reaching them as your customer. As a restaurant owner myself, I know how little time they have for running down opportunities like that, no matter how valuable they are. But I would love to have that sort of a platform in the business still.
Well, you mentioned it, time.
That's the
number one
nut
reason.
to crack.
I mean, the time is the number one reason, and it's so difficult to learn these marketing tactics or whatever. In terms of listening to our customer, again, it's like I don't have time to do that. I don't have time. They're great at making burgers or organizing, running multiple franchises. Not all of them are Google Ads certified or can learn and master every marketing. So, we're an out-of-the-box solution, and we hear
so
you
that
out
is
front.
the value you're giving.
That is our main value proposition.
So how about customers? How can we download the app, or is
no app to download?
Okay, no app.
Web. Yep, just type in your phone number, and we carry the conversation from there. Yep.
Okay.
So
type in the phone number, send it where?
Yeah, so to go on our website, all you have to do is put in your phone number, or
I got it.
To get that deal, we'll text you that
GetDippy.com, put in your phone number, start getting the deals. Yeah. Last question. Are there any books or podcasts that you could recommend that might be helpful to entrepreneurs who are watching?
I think it's your standard operating procedure, but the Lean Startup by Eric Ries, you can't forego that one.
Yep.
Just incredible. And then that's a really good baseline. But then a little bit more specific is the E-Myth theory.
Okay.
Actually,
E-Myth Revisited.
Yeah. Let me take that take again, maybe.
E-Myth now let's just keep going.
Yeah. And that one is really influential in the sense, like, you have a job and you're working to get money, but you really want to have your money working for you. Similar for when you're creating a business, 80% fail in the first year or whatever it may be. How can you not work, in your company, but work on your company?
Yes.
So take yourself out of it. How do you not make it, that you're the baker, that you're the only secret recipe for that, but you can build a business on top of that. You can step away. So
and that's the only way that you're ever going to scale it.
We knew that from the beginning, and that's So that's
you can't underscore that enough. If of course you're interested and care about scaling it, certainly there's something to be said about the lifestyle entrepreneur who this is they're at the peak of what they really care to grow the business to, and that's a personal decision. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. A vibrant economy takes all types, but if you are interested in adding a few zeros, you have to figure out how to step back and work on the business and not in the business, because you can't really do both.
Nope.
You certainly can't do both efficiently.
And then you can't expand. So we've built it. We're built to scale. We can pop up in any city at this point. So no matter where any customer is, we can start servicing them in that area. And so that was how we were built to start, and the idea of it, and we're there now. So we're expanding now.
Lean Startup, E-Myth Revisited.
Yep.
Good. Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks
for being here today and sharing your story with us.
Appreciate your time.
We'll be following up, by the way.
Okay.
So think about these answers. When the program is over, we're going to be asking you approximately the same ones.
Okay.
So be on the lookout for that, and we can't wait to see you then.
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.